month of January 2025, the year of the Lord. It's been a year for us already in the year 2025, and this is the second Saturday of the year. How has your year has been so far, especially in your family life, in your love life, in your marital life? Tell me. Please share with me. You already know the number. 0553135074 is the number you should send the message to. But if you want to call, let's talk about it. 0552880216. That's the number to call. Let us get interactive. On Instagram, we are Star FM. Get acquainted with us, follow, and let us know what is going on with you. Today, I just want to share with you the understanding that the beginning is always more critical than the end. The beginning is more critical than the end, because if you do not have the end in mind from the beginning, then the beginning is you don't even need to start at all. So yeah, they say that the end justifies the means, but I say that the starting, the mentality of how you start, actually quite much determines how you end. So what is your driving force from day one? What is your purpose from day one? What's your motive from day one? What's your goal from day one? That determines what your day 360 would look like. That's exactly what it is. So the end justifies the means. Actually, the end justifies the beginning. That word means there talks about the beginning, the mentality of your commencement. And that's why I'm particular about this particular Saturday. Last Saturday, we talked about budgeting. The previous Saturday, we talked about budgeting. Now, we're not talking about budgeting because we've all learned about budgeting for 2 consecutive weeks. Today, we're going to be talking about New Year values, New Year family values, New Year marital values, New Year couple values, New Year relationship values, New Year self values. What are the values that you've set upon for yourself to make sure that you are a better person in person, and you're a better person as a spouse, a better person as a family member, a better person as a father, mother, whatever it is, you are a part of someone's family. How better are you going to be? What did you do last year that changed your life for the better? What did you do last year that transformed your marital life, transformed your family life, and transformed your personal life? That is what we're dealing with today. And you see, one major thing I need to talk about is the fact that something happened in Ghana some days ago. Something unprecedented happened in Ghana some days ago. Something phenomenal happened in Ghana some days ago. It's never ever happened in the history of this country. From the inception till date, we have not recorded such a situation in Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, I pause this radio show to give kudos to the first female vice president of this country. We salute you, ma'am. We love you. We honor you, and we need you to know that our hearts go out for you as we build this nation together. This is nothing political. This is just something phenomenal for family values in itself. And we appreciate the truth that indeed tables can turn and the world can go around and evolve around the family sector. Back to the story I'm trying to tell. I'm trying to create a story in your mind of how your 31st December 2025 is going to look like in your family life, in your marital life, in your personal life. I'm trying to create for you the map, the compass, the route, the journey for your 31st December story, testimony, review. If we don't look at what our 31st December is going to look like from now, 31st December 2025 will look like what we created consciously or unconsciously. Listen, you don't need to do anything to fail. Just don't do nothing. But if you must succeed and be excited about what the year turns out to be in your family life, in your relationship life, we've got to see practical effort. We've got to see intentional move and drive and vibe and poise. And this is why we are here to deal with the matter of your family, talking about New Year family values. Perhaps your New Year family value could be to increase what you're doing or reduce what you're doing. Either ways, you're going to have to make a certain drastic sacrificial change driven by a passion to become a better version of yourself for your family, and making sure that your family is a better version of themselves for the community, and the community is a better version of themselves for the society. It starts with you, and then it goes to me, and then it goes to us, and it goes to the rest of the world. But I tell you, change starts from no one else but the person listening to me or watching me wherever you're watching me from. This is my word to encourage you, to let you know that your dream can only be valid if we dream enough with the tenacity to invest the requisite action into what we want to become. It's not too late. Yes, 11 days have come and gone, but listen, it's still better than not having a dream that you're willing to chase for the rest of the year and just waiting for the year to go by. Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. That is not how to live. Let's see how it goes. Really? You're putting your destiny on the line of let's see how it goes? Nah. We have got to be intentional in 2025 and making sure that our family values are in sync with values that make us better versions of ourselves, and the people who follow us transgenerationally, they would know that people existed before they did, and these were the altars of discipline set, altars of cultural resets, cultures of values that nationally and globally would be applauded. You know, there are some families in this country that if you mention their names, you know that, oh, this family is a good family. If your name is not mentioned, ask yourself why. No disrespect, no insult, no drama, no bashing. I'm just asking you. There are certain names in this country that when you mention their names, you'd say, oh, that's a noble family. If your name, if your family name is not one of those nationally known, ask yourself why. I tell you the truth, the answer lies in your heart. The answer is that you, not your dad, not your granddad, not your great granddad, is not doing something right. Period. It's not about the mistakes of your great grandfather. It's not about the mistakes of your father. It's not about the mistakes of your grandfather or mother. It's all about you, because it's you who is accountable for the future that you want to be responsible for. So this is not about, oh, if my grandfather had done better, if my father had done better, if this would have happened. No. What are you doing from here to take yourself to where you should be? The truth of the matter is, you start from where you are, knowing that you're going to somewhere tangible enough to be proud of. What are you doing with the family name you have right now? Think about it for a few seconds as I speak to you. Because that's exactly what we're going to be discussing today on the show, talking about the New Year family values. And that's why on the show today, I have one personality representing the first female vice president of the Republic of Ghana. And she's doing so because over the years, she has been a very poised woman I know personally. I'm not quite sure if she wants to be a first lady or a second lady or some political personality in life, but she has that crave to change her surroundings, change the people around her, and change the community around her. She's everything domestic. She's everything career. She's everything spiritual. She's everything woman. She's everything African. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome my sister, your panelist, Maulawe. Good morning.
Good morning, Kelly. How are you doing?
I am very well. How are you, though?
I'm well.
How tired are you from the weekend? Be sincere to me.
Oh, I'm tired, but yeah, we move regardless.
You know, thank you for the sacrifice of coming.
Oh,
tell me, what do you make of the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana being a woman?
Well, I think it's an exciting time for women at this point, especially with the passage of the Affirmative Action Bill into an act. I think it's a great moment for Africa as a whole.
Tell me about that act.
Well, there are so many things about the act right
what
now.
What catches you?
What catches me about it's about representation. So this act is just about creating an avenue for women to be well represented across government sectors, institutions, boards, not just the government, but even in private institutions.
Are you fighting for gender equality, though?
We want equity, and it's not a fight. We want equity.
That's just what it should be.
It's just what it should be. So it's not about a fight. It's not. It's just about understanding the fact that, I mean, the society is made up of both men and women. Exactly. And whatever decisions we take affects both men and women. So it is always important that when we are taking these decisions, there is a fair representation of the opinion or views of both men and women, because both sexes don't address issues the same way. So it's very important that in everything, in every decision we are taking, we have the views of men and women. And even now, we talk about the youth, inclusivity. So it's very important. So for us as a country to have a first female vice president, I think it's a great thing for this country. I'm expectant. I'm really looking out for a lot, not just from her, but from the government in power now, because I believe they've set a certain precedence, or they've started something by having a female vice president. So we are really looking out for a lot of things from her, from the government, to see a lot of fairness in terms of representation. So it's a great moment for the country, and we wish her well as a woman, as a women's rights advocate, and all the women's rights organization. We wish her well.
Say you're the vice president of the nation of Ghana, and obviously you are female. What are you going to do for family in the next 100 days in office? How would your personality affect family values in the nation within the next 100 days, first 100 days?
For me personally, I always say that the unit of the country is the family. Everything starts from the family. So I don't know if I say if I'm the first, but it's all about having certain values as a person.
I say this because she just may be listening to this, and I might make sure this recording gets to her. So she knows that she's well represented. You never know.
Discipline is key. For me, I don't run away from discipline. And I think that as a nation, we really need to enforce that in this country. And also probably work towards having a change of mindset and getting people to really understand that this nation is for Ghana. It's us. It's for us. It's not about a political divide. For me, it's about bringing us together.
So narrowing it down to family, what would you do in effect that families get transformed based on the fact that you are vice president?
Oh, I don't think the flow down would come out that way, as in I'm coming down to the family. But I think it's just about working with institutions that actually, and a lot of them will be around social responsibilities. But I don't want it to be because she's a woman, so social responsibilities. There are so many things that they have in place, like the women's bank that they want to set. It's supposed to be about families. It's supposed to help women, empower women. And more so, women are usually the marginalized in the society. So it's supposed to empower them. And once a woman is empowered, in actual sense, a whole family is empowered. So it's not really like I'm coming into a family, but it's about having conversations with institutions and ensuring that what needs to be done as a nation is done. It's about looking at some of the policies and seeing how they affect us as a country. Because once those policies are not for the good of the nation, or once those policies are not working to enhance the lives of people, then those things need to be looked at. And we really have a lot of policies that are supposed to enhance the lives of people. We have the National Health Insurance Scheme. We have the free SHS policy. There are so many policies that have been in place by governments that are supposed to enhance the lives of society or the people. So it's about reviewing some of these policies and seeing how does it benefit us as a nation. What are the challenges within these policies that we can rectify or correct? So it's not really like I'm coming down to the family, but it's about working with institutions, also with the agenda and working with the president to ensure that Whatever needs to be done to enhance the people of Ghana, their lives, most importantly, it is done. And I believe that she's poised to do that.
Mama Jane, that was your daughter, Mawalawe, letting you know that if she was in your shoes, this is what she's going to be doing. And because she's not in your shoes precisely, this is what she's going to be doing from her corner. So if you're listening, because I'm believing that you will be listening, this is how your daughter is representing you right here. It's Starr FM 103.5. God bless you, Malawi, for that. Now, practically getting into our families, I want us to discuss 10 major things in the next couple of minutes.
10.
We want to see happen in families, talking about revamping families into what we know it should look like, and 10 major things we should really excavate, not just cancel, not just abolish, but excavation comes from the root. It never comes up again, 10, 10. So 10. Point number 1, impositivity.
10 is a lot.
No. Just flow. We will deal with them, and from where we end, we end.
For me, I'll still come back to my first point. I think that responsibility.
Talk about discipline too.
Yeah, I talked about discipline too, but I would come to responsibility.
Right.
And it's a value we need to instill into our children and into the family to be responsible.
What does responsibility mean to you, though?
If you are given a certain role, take charge, do it, and whatever consequences that come out of it, own it.
Right.
Good or bad.
I think we should talk about the roles. What's a father's role?
In my opinion.
Exactly. I was about to say cut out what people say. What do you think a father's role is?
A father is a leader.
Right.
And he is supposed to set out an agenda for the family.
Okay.
A father gives covering. You cover a family. You are supposed to be the first point of contact in a family. If I'm coming into the family, and this is what I just want to say, ideally,
right,
in a home where you have a father, a mother, and children. Because in some situations, you don't have the father there. You have only the mother. Whether the father has passed away or the both parents are not together. So those are in other situations. But even in that, there are still roles a father can play in the term of a family.
Talking about being a father, as a relationship consultant and a family advocate, I have noticed that many single mothers, God help me, many single mothers turn out more to be better fathers themselves than mothers. Has that ever crossed your mind, or have you ever seen it that way? That single mothers turn out to be better fathers for their children than mothers.
If you are alone.
Yes, alone.
You don't have a choice. I was telling someone yesterday that you have to man up. And say you have to woman up. If you are alone and you know that you are responsible for the children, you don't have a choice, because at that moment you are playing a dual role.
Yeah, dual role, but literally a man's role.
You are playing a dual role.
That's what I'm saying. Most of the time it looks like the woman is more like trying to be a man, and hardly ever a woman, a father, hardly ever a mother to the kids.
You have to find the balance if you are alone.
Why though? Why is it like that? Why is it that women are trying to be, they're not trying to be fathers.
We are not.
It just turns out in the attempt to raise these children in a way that the children would be people worthy of, they turn out to literally have a father's touch on the kids more than a mother's touch on the kids. They literally have a mother's touch on the kids later in life, but in growth, they have a father's touch on the kids. My observation, personally.
You see, when the children are young, it's more about enforcing a certain foundation for them.
Right.
It's more about ensuring that the fundamentals are strong. There are certain values imprinted in them. When a child is 2, 3, children are very curious and they are all over the place. At that moment, it's more about, hey, stop, come here, you don't do that. There is also the nurturing aspect of it. But when you are alone, that's how do I say, whether is it that manly or that command has to come out. But there has to be a balance of it, of nurturing and then also ensuring that the child is reined in. There always has to be that balance. But sometimes the reining in supersedes, or it's more than the nurturing. But you always have to find the balance in between of doing both things, of playing that fatherly role in the children's life and pausing and saying that at this point I need to be a mother, identifying when you need to be nurturing, when you need to be caring, and when you need to say, no, I'm standing my ground, this is what it is, and that's how it's supposed to be. So it's just about finding that balance in between of playing that dual role as a single parent. And this could even be a single father as well, or a single mother, because and sometimes it's also important, if you're a single mother, to sometimes even find that masculine figure for your children, if you can.
Who could that be though, if you're not married?
If you're not married, if it's not the children's, if the father is around, he can be that person. If you have a brother or a friend that you trust and you know that he has certain values that you'd want to see in your children, that the children you think this is the man you want your children to look up to. It doesn't have to be that they are married or anything of that sort. You can do that. You can talk to your friend that, you know what, this is the situation. I want you to be somebody my son or my daughter can speak to or look up to. But all of these things have to be done with a certain level of discernment.
Right. Just in brief, you know, in an attempt to eradicate, to have less single mothers than not, what do we do about the deprivation of children from having access to their fathers, or their fathers having access to the children? Meanwhile, the woman is trying to be macho, that she can handle the children without the man, and the man should go to hell, jump into the sea, and she can raise the children alone. The man is feeling bad, the children are feeling bad. How do we balance that? How do we work that out?
It's always about the children. You see, at the end of the day, the central, the focus is always about the children. What will give the children stability? And it's a general opinion I have. It's not whatever has happened between both parents is between you.
Exactly.
The children must not bear the brunt of your pain. And it doesn't go to say that your pain is not valid. But it is all about the children. It's very, very important that the children have access to either parents, whether mother or father. If they are available and want to have that relationship. And even sometimes you have to encourage the relationship as much as it's given you to encourage it. So for me, every time I say that, it is all about ensuring that the children have a balanced life. You cannot decide to deprive a child of his parent, of her parent, because look, when a child grows up, the child will never forgive you. And at that point, you cannot do anything about the narrative. You can't do anything, because the child will grow and is an adult and can go and look for the parent. In one way, the child would have access to the other parent you deprived, and then the child would hear things that you have no idea about. And at this point, the child makes a decision you cannot even fathom why, but he or she has made that decision because of what he or she has heard on the other side. And you cannot control that narrative at that point. Then there's going to be a lot of damage control. No, that shouldn't happen. It's all about ensuring that there is a balance. Once the other parent is willing, both of you have had the conversation, and it's always about having the conversation. We're doing this, we are co-parenting. What are the values as co-parents we want to instill in our children, so that you don't have disparity? So when Kofi is at mommy's place, Kofi doesn't watch TV after 9 every single day during the school hours. But when Kofi goes to daddy's place, Kofi watches TV till 11 p.m. during school days. Those things are things that need to be balanced between both of you. This is what we want in our children. This is what we are transferring, whether it's our Christian values, our spiritual values, our mindsets about certain things. Those are things that both of you have to agree on, especially when you are on the journey of co-parenting. But it should always be about the children. It should never be about you. It should never be about our challenges. That is between you and I. When it comes to the children, we have to have a unified front and agree that it's all about the children. They are the most important people in the equation.
You have spoken so fantastically, especially with your first point. See, I told you that we're going to take our time, and this is how much we've been able to break into pieces. Point one, what would your point two be in terms of having a new year? I don't want to call it a resolution, but a new year attempt to making the year better.
Love.
Love. Tell me about love.
See, love is, I always like the definition of love in the Bible. Love is patient.
Kind.
Love is kind. Love does not envy. Doesn't look out for evil for other people. Love is fundamental. And especially for a family, it's important that as a family we feel loved. As children feel loved. No matter what, as a person, you would always be looking out for that thing called love. You would always be looking for attention. And it's important children feel that love from their parents. Children feel that they are important to their parents. And sometimes it's not always about the amount of time, I spend 10 hours with my children, but it's about the quality of that time that you spend with your children. That bond, that conversation that you are having, all on the basis of the love that you have for your child. So one of the things we need to be intentional about is spreading love in the family unit, within the family unit, amongst the siblings, even as children, spreading that love amongst the children, like among the siblings, ensuring that the children look out for each other and have each other's back is very, very important.
One of the issues I dealt with in 2024 was can I borrow the word disparity? But whatever the case, I had a lot of sibling rivalry settlements in 2024, hinging traceably on the foundation either the parent or parents laid or family laid. So one feels more favored than the other, and then they are not hiding the fact that they are not happy about it. And then these children have grown into literal enemies on each other. What would you call a balance to that?
As a mother myself, as a parent myself, I must say that generally, even the fingers are not the same.
Right.
And sometimes in some situations, it is possible to have a certain level of preference for maybe one child over the other because of one, they are not the same people, so they view things differently.
So why would you have a preference for?
Like I'm saying that in some situations, even as we all have friends. In some situations, you would want.
So is it possible to have a favorite child?
I don't want to put it that way. I think that what I want to say, as parents, we have to be intentional. As a mother myself, I'm very intentional. So I have two children, a boy and a girl.
Right.
And sometimes, if you had a first child and then there was some space before a second child, maybe 3 or 4 years or 5 years, because you've spent a long time with the first child, sometimes there's a certain bond. And they always say that mothers and their sons or fathers and their daughters. Mm-hmm. I'm very intentional about evening out as much as I can in my love towards my 2 children. So it's about being intentional. I don't want to say that there's something like a favorite child, but there are situations
Am I your favorite friend?
I don't have a favorite friend. I have favorite friends.
Then the competition is serious.
Because I have friends that there are certain things I know that if I call this person, shout out to them, they will give it to me, bass goes bass. And
what would you call me to say? What would I respond to? What's the reason you would call me?
Oh, you would respond to everything. But I wouldn't say that.
I'm flattered.
I wouldn't say there's something like a favorite child. I don't want to buy into that concept. I would say that there are situations that you would want to call child A over child B. There's something. I'm a first child. I'm the firstborn in my family. And among my siblings, if there's something that has to be done, there are times my mother would call my younger sibling to do it for the person. There are times my dad or my mom would call me to discuss certain things with me. As the first child, I should have a lot of wisdom in dealing with my siblings. There's sibling rivalry, but there has to be wisdom in handling it and trying to build that togetherness. There's nothing you can, as for sibling rivalry, even amongst friends, there's a little bit of rivalry. So sibling rivalry is there, but as parents, we have to be very intentional about rallying our children together and not making it so obvious that, oh, I prefer child A over child B, because they are all your children. So you have to be very, very intentional about ensuring that all your children feel loved. Maybe not on the same, but at least they all feel that mom is there for me, dad is there for me, my siblings are there for me. Don't make certain pronouncements and say certain things that would make one child feel more superior to the other child. No one. We are all your children. We all love your mommy and daddy. Let the children know, let the siblings know that you should have each other's back, and none should feel better. I'm better than you. No. Right. Sometimes our pronouncements as parents makes these things, do I say, they fester, or they are there. Underlying tone sort of in the home. So we should be very intentional about the things, our pronouncements in our homes as parents, as the leaders in our home, to ensure that there is some intentionality in the way we love on our children.
I want to talk about tough love. Tough love, either ways. I don't know how you want to look at it. Generally, in families, is tough love a good thing or a bad thing?
Tough love is good love. Tough love is good love. But like I'm saying, you always have to rein it in at a certain point. He who he loves, he chastises. He who he loves, he chastises.
What's the difference between hard love and tough love?
Oh, hard love, yes, hard. It's hard. It's hard.
but there's a thin line, though.
There is. But tough love, like, you have to find a balance. Tough love is firm love. It's not flinching, if for lack of a better word. But tough love is good love. But you have to be able to find the nurturing bit of that tough love. There has to be a nurturing bit of tough love. Me, tough love and a bit of hard love. That's how I was brought up. Shout out to there was soft love, but I think it was tough. But I was brought up by military people, so that love there is. Before complain, shout out to my parents. But yeah, there was always that reining, and especially now that we are older, there's always the reining in. There's always the soft love between my parents and us as children, right, and all those. But tough love, I mean, it's good love. Just find the balance to ensure, because the generation we are in now is different. That's what we need to understand. It's not when I was a millennial. It's not 80s love. This time around, there's so much information out there.
How do you feel born in the 80s?
Oh, I'm loving it. What better time than that time? Not this time. This time, the information is too much.
Sheesh.
It's too much. Me, I can't even bear it as an adult. It's too much. The things I see, I'm like, I miss the 80s kind of love. But yeah, I mean, you just have to find you have to be able to find the balance. Other than that, you're going to have a challenge of your children looking externally, and you cannot control that externality that would happen. You can't. So you first and foremost, I always said that I want my children to look inward. My children hearing I love you, I am the first parent to have told them that, not elsewhere. My children hearing you are beautiful, I should be the first parent telling my children that you are beautiful. I should be the first one nurturing the softness. So every time. Oh,
you're beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
It's the first time someone is telling you that on this show.
So it's always very important.
Exactly. And then the man Amaya walked into the studio to say hi to us and contribute to the studio discussion. Good morning, Amaya. How you doing?
Good morning.
Thank you for the sacrifice of coming, beating all the traffic and all of that in your area. Tell me about that.
I don't know what happened from farm milk to the, Star Smith.
Around Circle?
Yes, I've been there for like 30 minutes.
Oh
since you
dear.
called me. So I
Oh
had to
dear.
do a U-turn, go
Ooh.
through the Aveno in front of multimedia,
Kai.
then hit that what do you call it?
I think this is free information. If you are going towards that side, Charlie, rethink and
That's on small distance view.
oh, what was an accident or something?
I don't know what's.
He
You couldn't
didn't
even
reach
wait
the
to
end
see.
of it.
You have to do a U-turn and so we're not talking again.
Now you are doing weight talking. You came late.
But wait.
That's not a good value.
No, she said something that
Ish.
for a PhD candidate who is almost done,
Mm-hmm.
and you are worried that there's so much information in the system.
No, see. Oh, well, right now you just threw a shade at me, just said, well,
No,
PhD
that's
candidate.
Like you
Oh, my
basically work with
days.
information.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are worried that information in the system, are you depriving us of the information that you have?
Uh-huh.
Is making you a doctor or
Oh, there's a lot of, when we were younger, I think the internet was not really a thing.
we're using an encyclopedia?
Thank you very much. Everything was in the book.
Guinness Book, World Book of Records.
And if you had in the
You know we had that book. Oh, it's true.
Hey, your family is
It's
something
true.
very thick like
Yeah.
They bring it-
I mean, now they put it on Instagram.
Ah.
Yeah, they have an Instagram page. Everything is there. But there's so much information out there. You cannot. Yeah, we are working with information and we are in the information age, and that's very true. But when I say that, when we were younger, I remember even when there was Facebook, Isaac, I didn't know there was. I opened Facebook when I was in level 200, and a friend actually did it for me.
Your boyfriend introduced you to that.
Just tell us who it was. It was a guy.
Nana Yao, Ajimai
And
Prempe.
we knew it was going to be
Yes,
a guy.
he did it for me.
Yeah.
And even WhatsApp, I remember I was in a conversation, people were talking about WhatsApp, and I was sitting down there very quiet because I was wondering what was happening, what they were talking about. And then they said, oh, I've not heard that there's some the chatting platform. And I was using a smartphone then, but I didn't have WhatsApp. Now there's WhatsApp, there's Snapchat. I even don't know how to navigate that one called Snapchat.
I need me neither.
There's
Even downloaded it.
I've never
I just
had
use
it.
it for pictures. There's TikTok. That's what that plays there. I don't even venture. I think it's not my time. But there's so much, like I can't it's not my time. The algorithm over there, if you don't take care, you go and watch one wrong thing, it will be feeding you the wrongness all your life.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's so much information. If you're not able to imbibe certain values in your children in the house, you don't need to say anything. Even how to steal it on the internet, they will go and find it over there, and they won't ask you anything, and they would be stealing you. You wouldn't even know they are stealing you. For a PhD candidate speaking bad English, forgive
I'm
me.
surprised.
Stealing you there. I was wondering. Are you talking about stealing you?
But I just wanted to come down to the people. You know,
I'm
calm
surprised
down.
stealing you.
Tell people what to say.
No,
I was
no.
coming down.
Stealing
That may
you.
back down to the food soldier
Why is
level.
that? Why is
And
that?
they were stealing me.
They'll be stealing me.
What's funny better?
But please, they'll be. She said, "I'm not going to crank. They'll be stealing from you, and you wouldn't know." So you can't. If my kids play this game, my son likes games. He'll tell you, "Mommy, I'm a Game Boy."
Hey, doesn't understand what
Does he
Game
understand
Boy-
the mighty boy? Also kind of bro for. Then, if you don't take care, things will be popping up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, true.
So I have to control those things because if it pops up and I'm not there, if I've instilled a certain value to him, the minute it pops up, all he will do is that, well, he'll close it because there's a certain value in
Yeah, but you know, if they have their own devices and you use their right age to log in,
Yes.
it's protect them
it
from
protects them from.
those.
Yes.
I mean,
But if they pick my phone,
you can go anywhere.
thank you.
I mean, you go to church and a friend's son takes your phone and they open and they go online to download something or they go on YouTube and you're like, how is a child able to know that this is YouTube and this is Snapchat and this is what? Well, I don't know, but
Well, before you stepped in, she excellently spoke about
excellently.
Eh?
two
Pressure.
aspects of family life which we need to relook at in the year 2025. She talked about two fundamental things. Well, responsibility and discipline come in and like siblings. So she mentioned those two as one, but then she mentioned that something again about love, and I want you to tell me about responsibility in a family setting. What does responsibility mean to you as a man?
To me, as a man, responsibility basically means providing the needs of my family. That is one.
Give me three needs. Family needs.
Accommodation. I mean,
Yeah.
good accommodation, good education. How you bring up somebody? How do you say that?
How do you bring up?
I mean, bringing up a
Culture,
child.
manners.
Yeah, culture,
Yeah,
manners. I mean, and most of the time, I think children mostly learn by observing. So they are observing how you are treating their mother, how you talk to their mother. I mean, your wife, how you guys just and not those kinds. They just observe. They may not say anything. I remember I saw a video somewhere where a lady was saying that the child had some friends visit them, and the husband was about to go out, and she heard the child telling the friends that look, daddy will kiss mommy before leaving. So this is a thing that
Yeah.
they've observed, and they know it's a norm and a culture in the house. And I mean, responsibility is not always about the school fees, the food, the accommodation, making sure they are okay. But sometimes bringing them up and putting them in a position whereby if you are not even there, you know that they can take care of themselves and they will not get into trouble. I mean, that's also a responsibility because they're in their formative age, and it is your responsibility to make sure they are formed well.
Very, very importantly, there was something she talked about. Okay, let me just shift that because you're not a father. Are you a father yet?
No, not
You've
yet.
done something that I've done.
He's
I'm
a
not
father
aware.
figure.
I'm a father figure in the
finger.
community.
Yeah, father figure, a father finger.
No, father
figure.
figure.
Finger.
Figure.
Finger.
Figure.
I'm a father figure in the community.
Fantastic. Talking about how one parent raises the children without the other parent, depriving the other parent from access to the children. What's your take?
I am 1000% against.
Why should that ever be, to start with?
Oh,
On what ground should that ever
it's a
be?
bouquet.
Especially when the other person is willing to be in their lives.
I think it's a bouquet of issues, and it will, we've observed a culture whereby someone comes to talk about an issue, and we only listen to one side of the story, and we ignore the other part and start judging the person that we've not even heard from. And when these things, I mean, I think it's a bouquet of issue, but at the end of the day, it's the ultimate interest of the kids that we are looking for here, not whether you are right or you are wrong. Any step or decision that we are making, how does that affect the kids? We are not interested in whether the mother is wrong or the father is wrong. How does what you are doing affect the kids? That's the most important thing. Is it positive or negative?
I mean, if we knew who we were, if we knew the kind of parents we were giving to our children,
Yeah.
we will be careful
Well, we
who
need.
we sleep with.
Why are you getting my face like that?
This is the third. This is the third point I'm raising today. On
Oh yeah, that's very true.
If you have your say, should I speak Chi? If you have your children in mind, I'm not saying whether you're using a protection or not, because one day you may not use protection, and it becomes a pregnancy that you may not have the privilege of doing something to. So, if you have your children in mind, is that gift for me or Malawi? I don't trust you.
Malawi.
I saw that coming.
Aww.
I just
This
my
like this
spirit-
this is like my
heart never
first,
lied
it was
to
my
me.
first. Yeah, beautiful, and then beautiful.
Isaac, on my own show,
No, I don't want to forget in the car, so I had to
on
bring
my
it up
on my
here.
show, you come and.
No, but I told you if Malawi is not coming, I'm not coming.
Go,
You-
go,
you-
and you say, and
so.
it's go, 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 go.
Well, my point about sex is this. I mean,
Oh my
sex is
God.
good for those who.
The children are sleeping.
Yeah, they are sleeping. They have not woken up, and an average child by now,
It's not a
He's
child.
playing game, oh, he's
Wonder.
playing game.
I mean, what kind of? I'm gonna be crude a little bit. Forgive me, whoever is listening. If you're a child, shut your ears and go and do your homework. Yeah. What kind of? I'm trying not to be religious. In fact, I'm not religious. What kind of woman do you want to sleep with? Straight up, tell me.
I think I am at a stage in my life where I'm not interested in just having sex to have fun.
Exactly. Okay, good start.
And yeah.
We've been there, done that.
Yeah, so
the t-shirts and stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, if I'm interested in you, or if I haven't,
I'm emphasizing on what kind of woman would you want to sleep with, not be with, sleep with.
Sleep with.
Yes.
Just in
You
case
see, things happen.
condom.
I mean, we all have moral standards and
Just
stuff,
in
but
case what?
things just happen to happen. What kind of woman do you want to sleep? Today, 11th January.
Oh, but I think
if you want to sleep with somebody now, what kind of woman do you want to sleep with?
someone who is family oriented.
Are you sure you're thinking about family when you have when you're thinking about orgasm at the same time?
No, but yeah, there's some bit of thought before the orgasm.
Right.
At the point of the orgasm, you're not in the right senses.
That's pot, so no.
You're not in the right senses. But before you take the steps towards the orgasm, I think you have some choice.
Who you want to do that with.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you have some choice.
You want from a woman you want to sleep with now, today?
I think someone who is family oriented,
okay.
and someone who is interested in marriage and building something.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case, because I think I've bypassed the stage where someone is pregnant for you and say going about something.
Right at this age, no.
Okay.
And what else? What will be another reason why you want to sleep with this woman, female? She's not in studio. I'm very, very convinced. But then, what kind of a woman would you want?
Oh, and our genotype is compatible.
Compatibility, okay.
Because I'm not sure I can do with that stress.
Third reason.
I think I've given you 3.
Okay, you gave me 3. Now, I'm narrowing all you're saying to achieve the fact that you're not doing random sex.
No, not do that.
Fantastic. So that's point number 3 or 4 now that we need to check in 2025. No random sex.
Oh, no.
Whether you're married or single or an explorer, no random sex.
Or researching.
Or researching. Explore and research with that one you have chosen. Good. And before you choose, have this particular paraphernalia in mind. Maula, who is that guy you want to slay?
Hey, babe. You guys see laugh.
Iman.
Even the producer is, hey.
Who that want to slay? Or who will be slaying me?
11th January 2025. There's a situation that happens to be that you're
It's a
going
situationship.
down. It's about to go down.
I'm the
Who's
man.
that person without a name?
Without a name. Oh, basically the things I would look out for, it's somebody that is responsible. One.
How do you know responsibility before sex?
Of course, you just said it's not random.
I could choose an idiot and not know that he's an idiot.
I'm far past gone that.
How do you know you're not sleeping with an idiot?
How do I know?
Have you slept with an idiot?
No.
I like the pause for a few seconds. Yeah, but how do you know you're not sleeping with an idiot? An idiot is the name of an animal to start with.
I know, but I'm saying...
But I'm saying an irresponsible person. How do you know you're not sleeping? Have you slept with an irresponsible person?
No.
Okay, is that intentionally answerable by your thoughts calculated, or you're trying to cover up something that I don't know?
No, I'm calculating my thoughts. Sir, who will be some question?
Okay. How do you know you're not sleeping with an irresponsible man?
One, you said something that it's not random sex. That's what you said.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm put on the spot, if I'm going to have sex with another man, what are the things I'll be looking out for? When
you're not checking whether the guy
is what can deliver what?
Oh,
the
you're
assignment.
talking about sex.
The
I'm not
assignment.
talking about
I mean, that's very important.
I'm saying you need to sleep with a man now.
Now.
What kind of a man are you looking at sleeping with now?
And so, like I said, the person has to be responsibility, please.
Okay.
When it was somewhere, did you ask anything like that?
Because they don't have.
Did you ask him about beauty? You ask him about external aesthetics.
And you should not choose beauty and see.
So I mean, if now you're saying, I mean, if you want us to be now, at least the person has to look good.
Okay, yeah.
Those are things that, good looking, smelling good, aesthetics kind of thing.
I think
Okay. But beyond that,
Beyond that, you have to be responsible just in case something fire. You should be able to somewhere that I look at and you know that if I come to you and say that, Charlie,
I'm pregnant.
I didn't see my period. You should be
say,
able
go
to,
and look for it.
like you are confused, you are sitting back and wondering, hey, is it me? Am I the one? No, I'm not interested in. I'm not 22. I'm far past gone that. So if I come to you, the next question, okay, what are we going to do about it? How are we moving forward from this? It's not even talking about are we getting married? No, what like the kind of conversation.
Now, what do you do?
So that's what and then the person has to respect me. Respect. I have to find someone that I know the person respects me because of who I am.
Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Maula Weawiti.
Who are you?
You
Dr.
never know.
Awiti.
Dr. Awiti to be. You never know. Now I'll
Dr.
become the
Awiti.
first female president.
Oh, shut up.
You see that thing where you are. If you look at, I look at my trajectory of life. So I'm particular about the people. About the people that allow in my circle. I didn't say.
You say, oh, wait.
No, you don't want that when that kind of conversation. If you look at the person saying he finished me, you look at the woman.
The woman too. You're like, how did I ever get
you
here?
know. So
I wouldn't sit here for my gender to be.
No. I'm not. I'm just
like
saying that. I'm just saying the person has to respect. Like
You know why I'm
respectful.
on sex as our last point because we don't have much time left. Sex is something that is indispensable in family life, regardless of how you want to look at it, regardless of how you want to look at family. Either father and mother sex life or sibling and their own private sex life, still about family. Whatever you go and do out there with any girl or boy, you will still bring it to the family front and let's discuss it. So the essence of dealing with sexuality is not necessarily to understand or to explore a discussion of sex in itself alone, but to make family people understand the values of, what are the values of sex, if I may ask?
Okay, I won't even. I think we still need to buttress. I still want to buttress this one thing.
Please finish it.
I can give my slot to it.
I apologize. I want you to finish.
What you said is very fundamental. That as people, we should be
the
very
sex that
careful
will happen
about the
this year
people that we have sex with.
Already has happened.
Or the people.
Or happening at the moment.
Today's date is what? 11th.
Yes.
The people.
And yesterday was
you
Friday.
people, you are still listeners.
And this is Sunday.
Viewers,
Saturday morning.
see how I'm being. So when it comes to the
And
woman being a lab.
That they're actually listening to you on radio side by side.
So
having breakfast in bed and the other one, you know.
So as I'm saying,
Leave her in the loop.
it's very important, especially for women, who you sleep with or who you decide to procreate with or have children
No,
with.
we are not having children at the
No,
moment.
I'm just coming. We are not having children. I'm making a point. Sorry, it's very important whom
What did you eat this morning?
you
We are listening to
procreate
procreate
with or have sex with. I say procreation because it can happen that in the middle of the thing something could happen, and then in the middle of sex it can happen that when you started having a condom maybe there was no condom, or in the motion the condom
breast,
or in the pull out did not pull out, and then you can get pregnant. So all those things are there. So you have to be very intentional. Don't just sleep with anybody for sleeping sake. You have to be very intentional about the people you sleep with, and when you have children with them, because when you have children with them, the ball game is quite different. It's very the conversations are different.
We're not talking about I love you anymore.
No.
Master, children are involved here.
We are talking about school fees. We are talking about this. We are talking about the kind of value.
Insurance.
Yes, we are talking about what you are passing on, the kind of values you are passing on. We are talking about car insurance. We are talking about a lot of things. So we should be very, very. Yesterday, somebody told me something funny and said he met a woman, and the woman said, the guy's dad has 12 children, and he met one of the women, and the women said, I had sex with your father not because of anything, but I looked at him, I liked his genotype, I liked the way he was looking, and I said, this is the kind of look I want in my children. Mission accomplished. She has money to take care of her children. So please, let's be very, this year 2025 dear, the sex, not any random sex.
I hear a thing as a cliche or as a what I don't know what they say your sex life is your real life. True or false? Let's discuss.
Hey, I've never heard that before.
Your sex life
It's your
is
real
your real
life.
life.
Your real life. Right or wrong? True or false?
In other words, if you're careless in your sex life, you're
Your
careless
sex
in life.
determines your life. Literally.
Yeah, I think it's true because it has a lot of consequences. It has a lot of consequences on us, and the Christians will say it has spiritual consequences, and I don't know if the socialist or whatever will say that. I mean, if you have a child with somebody, you're bonded for life, and I mean, people are going to judge you based on the person's outcome, as in the outcome of that person, because they are always going to the baby mama, the baby daddy, the baby.
I don't like that reference.
And you look at, I mean, you look at where how far you've come, and your baby daddy or baby mommy also living a different kind of life that you may not even want to be associated with, but because you have a child, you have an everlasting association, and you can't do anything about it, even if the child passes on and over. So I think I agree. I agree to that assertion.
What if you never have a child together?
Then you can narrowly escape.
Okay, well that's one narrative. That's one way to look at it. By your sex life is your love life. How do you explain that?
Is your sex life your love life or is your real life?
No, your sex life is your real life.
Hey, I'm the worst person.
Why? Why the worst person?
Okay. Let's say this way: your sexual orientation is your true personality, right or wrong?
Right.
How is that right?
Your sexual orientation is the point at which you are, for lack of a better word, most vulnerable. Okay. Your vulnerability is exposed. The kind of boundaries you allow or disallow is exposed. And all of those things, the way you are, your personality shows in how you even have sex. So when it's...
Your personality shows how you have sex?
Yes, who you are, how you think, how you view things. It shows in how you have sex. There's a correlation in how you have sex.
So that you had how do you know?
No, you didn't say me.
Look, I want to understand how people.
So does it mean if you are calm, if you have a calm personality, everything's going to be calm?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. They are. Please, me, I don't know all those other things you are saying.
No, I mean, having sex. I mean, your sex life is your.
You said family. You said family values.
No, yes, but every person makes a family
through sex.
Exactly, through sex.
Yes, and so I'm saying that there is some correlation in the fact that how you perceive certain things or how you perceive the world shows forth even in how you approach your sexual orientation. And like I said, during your sexual or when you're having sex, it's one of your most vulnerable times. It's when you allow yourself to go, or you allow yourself to, because it's at that.
Where do you normally go?
I go to church.
No, when you're having sex.
Minister Mawalawe.
You said, where do you normally go? And no, I said,
you said.
I didn't know you were making reference to that statement.
Now, behave yourself on my show. May say, when you yourself, Mawalawe, where do you normally go?
I don't go anywhere. Kelly, don't go. My child can't listen to this. So.
She doesn't go anywhere. But he said we don't
when you
go
let
somewhere where we are vulnerable.
When you let yourself go.
Go where? To where?
A place of. You're not your place where you are not thinking. You just let yourself go. Now when you're having orgasm, are you having sense? When you're having orgasm, are you having sense? At that moment, that split second.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm learning. I'm just
really?
Host, period.
Me too. I don't know. I'm also learning. I'm just a PhD candidate and a radio panelist. But it's your most vulnerable moment. So for me, you never let me land.
Oh, babe. I was just avoiding. I was helping you.
Just for you, babe.
Oh no, you were not asking to me. You didn't let me, when Isaac was saying this. So you didn't do that.
Please feel free.
So yes, I can have a certain level of agreement that,
The fact that your sex life,
like I said, a level of agreement that your sex life can be, you can correlate certain, how you approach your sex life can be correlated to how you approach real life.
I'm getting somewhere.
But like I said, I don't fully agree, but there's a certain level of
I'm about
agreement.
to ask a question. What's the difference between age of maturity for a woman is what? A woman, not a mature girl. A woman. Let's say 30. Let's give it at 30.
Okay, you can peg it.
Two ladies get married. Two ladies. Okay, let's make it marriage. Two ladies get married at 30. Okay. One has been a virgin all the while. One has not, for the lack of a better explanation. Who has a stand of having a better life?
Better life.
When you say better life,
a healthier family life.
there is no.
I think those are
not.
They can be factors to determine that.
Yes, they can't.
They can be factors to determine that.
Good answer. So are we saying that it doesn't matter what you do with your life before you get married?
It matters.
So therefore, you should have an answer for me when I say who has a better.
But it doesn't. Those are not parameters. You use only one parameter.
Yes, one parameter.
Yes,
yes,
and there are several of them.
And there are several things you do before you get married.
No, I want what? Okay, maybe I should tell you what I want to achieve with this. I want to achieve the fact that someone listening to this would know what their sexual journey could do in influencing the family they raise.
It's all about being open and ready to learn. So there's nothing like, because I married as a virgin, so you can marry as a virgin, but once you open up yourself and you want to learn, you can still get it right. So it's never too late. And you can also be someone who didn't marry as a virgin. You can get married, you have children, or your sex drive goes, everything about sex comes down for you. That one is a different thing. So using sex as a parameter to say that because I married as a virgin, you married as a non-virgin, means that I will have a better rate. It doesn't measure up.
Here, Isaac, before I ask you your own question, is that regardless where you are, there is no condemnation.
None at all.
Your life can be as beautiful as it should ever be from exactly where you are, how you are, and perhaps with whom you are with. Another thing I want to emphasize, maybe I should keep that for the latter before just before Isaac speaks. Isaac, a situation in which a man is a boy in a family setting, how do we rescue that generation?
Which generation?
That man's generation. I don't want to just talk about.
You mean the husband is a boy?
In a situation where a man is a boy, okay, let's call it a husband. What's that?
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work because I'm not sure women are very.
You know the reason
I don't even know why you gave this question to a man to answer.
No. You know why I'm dealing with this question with him? Because men are supposedly heads of homes, whether they are married or not. Any male in any home is a potential leader, and they should exhibit leadership qualities.
And so are women. Women are also potential leaders.
I think one of the things that some of our parents don't focus on is raising their sons as male children. They are so concentrated on the female, and now but they refuse to raise the men to be husbands and fathers. And I mean, we can dump a lot of the blame at their doorstep.
I don't think that you should say they refuse.
Oh no, you see, when you talk, Isaac doesn't talk.
I just wanted to. You see, I'm a PhD, so I just want the same way. I just wanted.
Everyone is a PhD student.
You brought it up, but I just wanted to correct that. Well, as a woman, I don't think he should say that we refuse to.
What do you do?
We refuse to bring up the man.
Check his tone and check yours.
Oh, don't do that. Media might.
I'm just saying that we should check.
You see, this is all part of the alienation. I'm speaking and I'm saying that I should look at his tone and see my tone.
His laughter is whispering.
That's okay. That's him. For me, that's not me. And you've known me. This is me.
Okay, so you're saying you don't refuse. What
No,
do
I
you do?
don't. Okay, so let me calm down to your tone. I don't refuse. I don't think the word should be refused.
Mm-hmm.
There can be another word. I hope that's softer enough, listeners.
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Okay, thank you. I'm a salt person, but as I was saying, let me revert to who I am. This is who I am.
You can't even pretend.
I know I don't do that. No, there's somebody who see me somewhere. And say, no, this is me. The word is not refuse, but you see, as the society, the way the society is do I say the way the society is run, or the culture of the society pushes us as women to want like a woman or bad or so yes say. And then the man is like raising the boy child. The techniques are different, and sometimes we relegate that to the man to sort of handle. So it's not that a woman refuses to train up the boy child to be prepared as a man in the society. But even now more so, it's even much more important that we are intentional about raising the boy child to be prepared for the girl child that we are raising. Because I think that for like now there's a lot of disparity. So it's not refuse, please. It's sometimes it's relegation.
Growing up.
Because we don't have time, I will not let this woman talk again.
Thank you very much.
All the while.
I'm silent. Listeners, thank you so much.
I think, growing up, I had more contact hours with my mother than my father.
Okay.
Very few, yes. Very few contact hours with my father. And at that time, you don't even get to have that relaxed environment to talk to your father like you do with your mother. So that means that the mother has had a lot more chances to teach me how to be a husband and a father than my father. In any ways, why can't she bring out the kind of husband that she thinks is a good husband for the growing woman out there?
Please, I'm not supposed to talk again, so I can't respond to that.
So I think yes, our mothers, they have the sole responsibility. No, not sole responsibility. They have the major responsibility.
They have the responsibility.
They have the responsibility to raise us and their sons to be.
And
good.
so do our fathers.
In conclusion, Isaac, what would you say to any man in any family, regardless of their position, father, uncle, brother, son, whatever?
From what I've seen and what I've experienced, Charlie, make money.
That is heavy.
Make money. When you have money, a lot of nonsense will stop.
Make money.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, on Starr 103.5 FM on Family Central, right?
To the woman, be empowered. Thank you.
If you remove money from empowerment, what is left?
What can you do?
What can you do?
Just be empowered as a
To
woman.
the women, be empowered. To the men, be empowered with money.
Have money.
The more money you have, the less nonsense we experience
Comes in front of you.
In every family. I would want to take on that and then emphasize that we would deal with
I'll have
something
missed you.
richer by next week. Thank you so much. This has been Dr. Kelly Daniels, and I am officially out.
Doctor
Have a
to
great
be
one.
Dr. Awiti.